Welcome, Carm Capriato, the Service Aftermarkets Podcast Pioneer, with the gold standard of aftermarket business podcasts. Join me for Aftermarket Insights as we advance the aftermarket. And as always, know that you'll learn just one thing. Find us on your favorite podcast listening app and remarkableresults.biz or on my YouTube channel. Hey, everybody, Carm Capriato, Remarkable Results Radio. Good to have you here. I have to tell you, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't get up each and every day, drive so hard to get some of the best content in the automotive aftermarket. Anyway, I want to introduce Maryann Croce from smallbizvantage.com. Hi, Maryann.
Hi, Carm. Glad to be here.
Thank you for being here. We are in part 5 of the Unstoppable Framework for Auto Shop Owners. Part 1 was the foundation, or your core values and vision. Number 2 was master your finances. 3 was optimize processes and empower your team. 4, stay customer focused and flexible. And today is the 5th. It's the wrap up. Build a resilient mindset and plan ahead. I think these are just like dead on. 5 incredible, if you will, strategic initiatives or think patterns that you as a great leader have to do, conform to, a practice. Can't wait to hear about number 5 and all your great key talking points. But don't forget, Maryann does an Unstoppable Framework 3-day weekend system of coaching. She just doesn't believe you should always have a 3-day weekend, right?
Yeah, actually make it customizable, right? Doesn't have to be necessarily a Monday or a Friday. It could
Yeah.
be middle of the week, right?
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on and doing this. I can't wait to hear about number 5. I did see you at Apex this year. Always great to see you and get a nice hug.
Yes, always.
NAPA is focused on the now, a national ownership workshop for our valued auto care members centered around business building training from industry leaders. This is a can't miss event as we celebrate the past 100 years while looking ahead to the next 100. Hey, let's face it, your shop management system is the most critical tool in your shop, and NAPA Tracks will move your shop into the SMS fast lane with on-site training, 6 days a week support, and local representation. Find NAPA Tracks on the web at napatracs.com. Also, thanks to aftermarketmanagementnetwork.com for information that can help you move your business ahead, and for the free and informative laborratetracker.com. All right.
So I'm
Okay,
excited to be
let's
here.
let's do
Yeah.
this. Build a resilient mindset and plan ahead.
Yes. So exactly. The resilient mindset and planning ahead are so key. And I left this for the last part of the episode. The unstoppable framework that we've been talking about in each session here, each episode, is part of my 3-day weekend system. And the simple goal with that system is to gain 10 hours a week in 90 days. Put an end to what I call owner shop overload. You know, that feeling of going 24/7, make your business profitable, sustainable, and enjoyable. So what I did was, in this 5-episode series, I'm pulling back the curtain to help auto shop owners have a rewarding business and a rewarding life. It's not about adding more to your day. This may seem very different coming from a coach, right? It's about subtracting. The magic of being unstoppable is in the doing. Even when it's uncomfortable, it's what makes successful auto shop owners resilient and adaptable, both personally and professionally. Rid yourself of the excuses, those reasons that hold you back, because if you defend them, you get to keep them. So
Yeah,
let them go.
Maryann, I want to stop you there and say you gotta wanna.
You have to wanna, right? Because the thing is, if you use those excuses as reasons, can't do this, that won't work for me. The problem is you start defending them. And when you defend them, you get to keep them. You'll never grow. You'll never expand. So the idea is you want to let those things go. And that's really the whole point of the series. So today we're talking about resilient mindset and planning for the future because they are actually two key components of thriving and building an adaptable business. When you do that, you start seeing your business as separate from you, and you can grow, you can scale, and you can actually make your shop manageable and sellable. So, this episode, I want to tie together the insights from the previous ones, really making like full circle moments to help the listeners really implement everything that they learn. Because, see, that's, Carm, the magic is from it comes from the doing, right? What we actually implement. Why does resilience and forward planning matter? When you think about building this mindset, a resilient mindset, it's not just about surviving the tough times. And we've all been through that. It's about thriving through them, not just surviving, thriving, and really being proactive and having a clear plan in place, because resilience helps shop owners navigate the highs and the lows of a business with confidence and purpose. That's why this is so important. So I want to give people today three key points that'll help with this. The first one is embrace a growth mindset. Don't stay stuck in the negative. And I'm going to give a little disclaimer here. I will give everyone 5, 10, even 15 minutes when you're having something negative happen. Give yourself 5, 10, 15 minutes to whine, complain, but then you have to get over it.
Yeah, get over it.
Get over it, right? But I'll give
If you're generous, 15 minutes, come on.
well,
I mean, maybe if it was your fault, you may be a little down on yourself, but, if it's something happening around you, just get over it and move
yeah,
on,
right?
figure it out.
But well, here's what you actually need to do, right? That really, really helps. See the challenges as an opportunity for growth.
Yeah.
View challenges as an opportunity to learn and to innovate, come up with something new. So a really good tip for this is when you're faced with a problem, after you've done that 5, 10, even 15 minutes of complaining, what happens is you ask yourself, what can I gain from this experience? How can I use this to make my business better? And you and I are kind of joking around when I talk about like 5, 10, or 15 minutes. But what happens to a lot of shop owners, and I think you could relate to this with your audience, is when we hold it with us, our team notices that something's bothering us. Our customers may know it, and we carry it with us throughout the entire day. When you go home, your
Mhm.
family may
Yeah,
even
right.
notice it, and you don't realize that it's showing up. So that's why I say give yourself some time, but then you have to start focusing on what you can do, because you really want to learn from failures and setbacks. Failure is just part of the process. A lot of shop owners were technicians and they weren't a great technician on the first day. It was a process. They had to learn and they had to make mistakes, right? So the idea here is as a shop owner, we're going to do the same thing. And as you're growing and learning, and if you're stepping out of your comfort zone, you're going to make mistakes. It's part of the process, but that's okay. So, what you want to do is you want to really use that failure, those mistakes as a stepping stone for success by making small adjustments based on lessons that you learn. So, you treat it not as feedback, not as defeat. And I'll give you a quick little story. Something that happened in our own shop, similar to a lot of shop owners that I talk to, but we had a client, a customer who had work done and moved out of state, and then they had a concern like within a year. What they ended up doing was not contacting us, not using the network that was on their receipt, on their paperwork, on the warranty, everything, that you're part of this network and that you would go to a member shop to get help. They just went outside to a random place, had work done, and then sent us a bill and expected this bill to be paid. So we were talking back and forth, and we were trying to help the customer because we didn't realize that they had authorized the work at first. We were like, oh, we can direct you to a member shop 6 miles away. And they were like, "Oh, great. That's great." So then they went back and realized that they authorized the work. And now, right, they basically were not using the network. So long and short of it was the customer did not read any of the information, didn't read the warranty, all of this. And in the end, we said, look, here's what we'll do out of goodwill. We will help you out and cover a portion of it. And in the end, they were fine with that. It worked out. But now what we did is we went back and we said, let's see what we can do to beef up our process. Is there anything that we can do differently in our process that would make it even more clear? So now when we give them the warranty, there's certain things that we circle, there's certain things that we highlight on there. We give people a one sheet and we made certain things in bold and underline them, little things like that. So now it was very clear, even
Mm-hmm.
more clear for the customer. But it would be really easy to get stuck in the negative and say, this person's being unreasonable. I don't understand. And you can really get stuck there. There also was a negative review involved as well. And
Mm-hmm.
we said, we're willing to help you all along. And they agreed and they said, we'll take down the review. So but that upset in the beginning was really frustrating for the customer because they didn't know what to do and they felt really bad that they didn't follow the process. Probably even a little embarrassed that they didn't follow the process, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's an example of how you treat that as feedback, but not as you're being defeated or this customer's out to get you. The next part of this is focus on continuous improvement. So I really want to encourage owners to regularly assess the processes that you have in place and look for areas of improvement. So a tip here would be set aside time each month to review what's really working well and what could use a tweak. Maybe there have been some questions or some misunderstanding. So you can go back and look at that. Small, consistent changes really lead to big improvements over time. This is what I call looking at your business from that 30,000-foot view. You're
Mm-hmm.
really going beyond that four walls of the shop and you're looking at the big picture. The second key point that I want to talk about is create contingency plan for business disruptions, right? Now, the big one that everybody knows about was COVID, but that was a lesson for us. The first part of this is identifying potential risks. So anticipate possible challenges that could happen in your business, such as staff shortages, supply chain issues, or unexpected expenses. Those would be things. And every shop is going to have nuances. Make a list. This would be the tip here of the top 3 risks to your shop and brainstorm solutions for each.
Sure.
It's so much easier to do this before it actually happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've just heard some stories lately of some fires and some really tough things that have happened to businesses and robberies and stuff. You never, I can't imagine sitting with a group or with my team saying, what happens if, however, it's not bad to visit that stuff so that if something really way off the charts happens, some of the gut grind that you get could be minimized only because you've had something flash through your mind as to how would I deal with this? How would the team deal with this? How would the business survive? It's a great point.
And to lead into what you were saying, so plan for the unexpected. So create action contingency plans. So I'm going to give you an example, like having backup vendor for parts or even cross training your team members for flexibility because if a team member was out for whatever reason for an extended period of time, now you have someone who may be able to do some of what that team member was doing, help
Hmm.
out. A tip here would be write down a few steps for each plan so that you can quickly act if disruption occurs.
Sure.
And then last part of this would be review and update your plans regularly. So these contingency plans really need to be dynamic, right? They need regular updates as your shop grows and as the market changes. So, what you want to do is even get your team involved. This is something that you can do quarterly to ensure that the plans that you have are still relevant and everyone knows their role in an emergency. One of the things I tell people too is when you think about this, review your insurance coverage regularly too. Make sure that you're covered for all kinds of things that could possibly happen or what you would do in case of.
The NAPA Now event is a national ownership workshop for our valued AutoCare members centered around business building training from industry leaders. Now, it's not just about owning a shop, it's about owning your future. Join NAPA April 15th through the 17th, 2025 at the Venetian Resort in the heart of Las Vegas, known for its vibrancy, energy, and entrepreneurial spirit. At the event, ignite growth through business building masterclasses from leaders across multiple industries focused on expanding business opportunities. Now, masterclass topics include future-proofing your business, mastering emerging technologies for growth, leadership dynamics, inspiring, engaging, and driving success, shifting tides, understanding evolving consumer behaviors and your bottom line, and young leaders' lasting legacies, mastering succession planning for future growth. Foster collaboration with other like-minded NAPA AutoCare members and store owners. Stop at Supplier Studios for training, visit AutoCare vendor partners, and finally, join us in celebrating 100 years of NAPA Auto Parts, along with kicking off the next 100 years of partnership. There will also be exclusive giveaways. There are many incentive opportunities to offset the cost of this trip, including AutoCare program earnbacks, and beginning in October, earn up to $1,500 with pre-show supplier training to prepare for the Supplier Studio training sessions. The NAPA Now event is a national ownership workshop for our valued AutoCare members centered around business building training from industry leaders. Now, it's not just about owning a shop, it's about owning your future. Join NAPA April 15th through the 17th, 2025 at the Venetian Resort in the heart of Las Vegas, known for its vibrancy, energy, and entrepreneurial spirit. Get ready to grow, connect, and celebrate. This is an exclusive event limited to the first 2,000 AutoCare members. Packages are going fast. If you're interested in attending, contact your servicing NAPA store or NAPA salesperson. Hey, let's face it, your shop management system is the single most important tool in your shop, period. NAPA Trax has made selecting the right shop management system easy by offering the industry's best, most comprehensive SMS. Now, it all starts when a local representative meets with you to learn about your business and how you need to run it. After all, it's your shop, so it's your choice, and having local representation is a huge plus. Customizing Trax to your business, whether you're a one-person shop or a large multi-bay or multi-location company, a representative consults with you to help optimize your shop's workflow, efficiency, and profitability. Trax always has the flexibility to do business how you need to do it, which means it can also grow as your business grows. And unlike the other guys, will be there for you after installation with the best training and support in the business. Yes, a learning management system tailored to each role in your company. Simply put, Trax was designed and built for shop owners just like you. Visit us on the web at NAPA Trax, that's NAPATRACS.com. Hey, ever wonder how your labor rate compares to your market and state? You now have a site where you can confidentially upload your rate and see other labor rates published in your market. LaborRateTracker.com is an important site to know about. Currently, the database has over 1,000 shops participating and growing every day. But there's more to setting your rates than finding out what others charge. You should look at the labor rates in your state and town to gain a complete picture of the labor rate landscape. Hey, it's easy. Get market intelligence like never before at LaborRateTracker.com. Let me stop you for a moment and just tease the audience. We did a great episode at Apex. Dave Johnson, Scott Brown, Matt Fonslow, Dave Johnson being the president of ASE. And Scott Brown brought up such an interesting story about insurance coverage. And that's my tease. Please, you got to listen to this Apex episode that we did because it'll startle you when you hear about how insurance companies look at the kind of training that we're having for our people to minimize risk. And that is it was so profound. We're all sitting with our mouths open. And this is real world stuff. This isn't make-believe what if stuff. It actually happened. So
Yeah, absolutely.
great thing to bring up. And the audience, I'm sorry for the tease, but Enjoy that episode when it comes out.
Yeah, no, that sounds great, Carm.
Yeah.
The third key point here that I want to put emphasis on is daily practices for building resilience. So the idea here is to manage stress effectively. Okay. Stress is part of life. Like we know that it's going to happen and it's there when you're a business owner as well. So people need to include really practical ways to manage their stress, right? Taking a short break. Sometimes people don't do that, right? They don't take a breath, like take a deep breath when you have to. Step away for a little while. Engage in some physical activity if you're sitting at a desk for extended periods of time. And a tip here would be start your day with something, whatever it is. It could be a quick walk or even a moment of positivity. Find something good in that day and really set a positive tone for the day. Even if you know there are challenges or something that you have to deal with when you go to work, definitely start with some type of positive tone. Build positive habits. And the way you do this is you have daily habits like setting clear priorities for the day. These are the things that are my top things that I have to get done. I'm prioritizing them. Express gratitude and dedicate time for reflection. And what I mean by that is you want to end up reviewing your day because tomorrow's a new day. So, what I like to do, this is a great tip, and I find that this really works. Create a simple either night before or morning routine that includes reviewing your goals and setting up your top 3 tasks for the day. I personally like to do it the night before. I'm not in my shop every day, so I'll actually put a little note on my desk of my priorities and my goals so that when I come back, it's been a few days because I'm not in the shop every day. That's right there waiting for me. But I like to do it that way. Some people like to do it in the morning, but that's a great tip for that. And lastly, lean on your support network. It's really important to have a strong support system of peers, mentors, and advisors. I really want you to be able to share with them and let them know what's going on because they can help really guide you through the tough times. I had an opportunity during COVID. I was quarantined for 3 weeks, lost a family member, and I was exposed, and that was on the early side of it. And I actually reached out to an influencer when I was home. My question that I asked was answered, and I was given 5 minutes to speak with him. And I asked him about leadership, and that's actually what I coach on. So I wanted to know how you can instill leadership in your team so that they can bring it home and it could be really something that they can share with their family and it could be helpful for them. It could be very valuable to bring that leadership home so that they can be a great leader. And he gave me what I call pop. The 3 things are you have to be positive, have to be optimistic, but you have to be practical. If anybody wants that download, it's available on my website. But that was a game changer for me because if you're just positive and you're optimistic, a lot of times people will see you as delusional, right? You have to have that practicality, that real world application in there. And
Mm-hmm.
that really helped me a lot because I unpacked it and I was able to share it with so many people. So it's really important to reach out to a peer. A tip would be, schedule something this week with someone and really get that insight. Lastly, when you mentioned the 5 different episodes that we talked about, over these time together, and I kind of wanted to just bring it all together so that people would understand the key lessons from each one. So the first one was clarify your vision and your core values, and the key lesson there was the importance of having the clear vision and core values. It's the foundation of your business. So that's really important. Episode 2 was mastering your finances. Financial literacy and a solid plan are really crucial for business stability and growth.
Keyword literacy. Learn it.
Yes, learn it, and you can do it. You
Yep.
definitely can,
Sure
even if
can.
it's something you're not used to. Episode 3 was optimize processes and empower your team. Documenting processes and delegating effectively, allowing the shop to run smoothly without relying on the owner for every task, every decision. Episode 4, stay customer focused and flexible. Realize the value of listening to customer feedback and adapting services to meet evolving needs. This builds loyalty and attracts the right customers. And lastly, today's episode, right? The importance of growth mindset, contingency planning, and daily habits. And this really helps you maintain resilience and adaptability. So, the thing here is we've covered strategies through all of these episodes to really help you build a profitable, sustainable, and enjoyable business. And I want to put emphasis on enjoyable. If anyone thinks that the 3-day weekends program might be something that they need, I'm available to talk more. But I really want to thank everyone for listening to this series. And I want to encourage them to go back and reflect on the episodes because they can actually be listen to in any order. And then there's a worksheet, a downloadable worksheet with any of the episodes.
Yeah.
And my real final thought here is, if you find it valuable, share it when Carm puts these episodes out and they go, share your feedback on it on the podcast comments. And I want to really share that. Remember that being unstoppable is not about perfection. For you to have an unstoppable business, to be an unstoppable owner, it's about progress.
Hmm.
That's what it is. Keep learning, keep adapting, and most importantly, keep going forward. You've got this. And I really wish all of our listeners here a rewarding business and a rewarding life because to me, that's what success is. It's all about fulfillment.
Wow. Whew. Thank you, Maryann Croce, smallbizvantage.com. Go to her website and get all this good stuff. On all the show notes pages will be those worksheets that she is talking about and a link to her website. Can I make a comment or two on
Yeah,
this?
of course.
Okay. Feelings, emotions. You talked about that. You talked
Hmm.
about how people can see you. And I have to tell you, you're so right. The face holds clues to where you're going, how the day is going to be, what you're thinking. Be very careful that you're not having, even if it's a personal bad day, and you bring that face or that emotion set to work. You're the leader. You may crash the positivity or the spirit of the business, depending on how much you carry it on your face or your shoulders. And then you said positive, optimistic, and practical. I have a question for you on
Hmm.
practical.
Hmm.
I'm an individual who loves to stretch my think. So I would say, hey, why don't we do this? And this is like, whoa, wait, we're on the other side of the
Yep.
tracks. Somebody will look at me and says, well, that can't be done. I says, well, good. Let's think that far ahead and let's pull it back. But I always say that if I think partial and I don't think deep and heavy, I may end up with half of what my think was. And if I didn't push it and then pull it back a bit, and I'm always like that. And especially, Tracy, Dad, I said, well, then come up with something close to that. I'm sorry. Are you on mute, Maryann? I just can't hear you.
Am I okay now?
Now you're back.
Okay. So this is great, right? What you were just saying, the practical part is not pulling back or slowing down. The practical part of it is what are your resources? What are the situation that you're in to make this happen?
Hmm.
So is this going to cost money? Is it going to be time? Is it a skill set that's needed that you don't have? Or is it people on your team that this is something that you can hand it off to? So the practical part is how are we going to make this happen
Yep,
in
yep,
our situation?
yep, yep.
Because every shop has nuances, right?
Yes, they do. Well, this was
It's not
great.
cookie cutter.
I know you're 100% right. These are great outlines to grow your business, and to your point, you can listen to these in any order. What I think I want to challenge our listeners, and again, top shops, medium shops, you're in growth mode, you're in leadership mode. You can't do this alone. There's no way you can grow a great business by yourself. Everyone that I know of, hey, this has been my right hand person, been with me for years. This person's been running my counter for years. They can enjoy these episodes too. And when I was at Apex, I met a lot of general managers, secondary people, long-term, technology specialists that are working in the field come up to me and says, well, I've listened to your episodes, even though I don't own a shop, and I've shared them with people, and I've challenged other people, the service advisor, please listen to those. And so I love the whole idea that this isn't necessarily for every CEO that's out there. It's for the people who are in those organizations who want to challenge each other and themselves. So don't just think this is an entrepreneurial thing, or maybe it
Right.
is. But yeah, share this, stretch this, and get together. And like I always say, take one of these topics to your next huddle.
Exactly.
But before you talk about it in your huddle, go listen to the episode and come back and says, hey, let's stay customer focused. What did you hear Maryann say the last time? What are we doing right? What can we improve on?
Yeah,
So
to your point, you don't have to be an owner. You can be
yeah,
there's a lot of team members that are leaders. They have those natural skill
yeah,
sets.
yeah. Hey, as always, appreciate this. Good stuff. Thank you so much.
Thank
The
you.
5-part Unstoppable Framework for Auto Shop Owners series with Maryann Croce, part 5.
Thanks
Thanks.
so much for your support.